Will the dream season continue for the Pope John Jr. Lions? Or will the dream end at the hand of the Eastwood Grizzlies as they wake them up today? We will see if Pope John can continue the magic carpet ride to the regional championship in Pennsylvania next week. But today, here at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey, the Pope John Jr. Lions 13 and under squad take on the Eastwood Grizzlies from Syracuse, New York. Hi everyone, Mike Formisano here calling today's action and the regional semifinal game for the Pope John Jr. Lions. And we are so happy you're with us this afternoon in the shadow of New York City. The Pope John Jr. Lions last Sunday right here at Williams Field turned back the Irvington Golden Knights by a final score of 16-6. Aiden DiOlivo with 2 touchdown rushes and also Seamus Corcoran with 2 extra points, leading the way for Pope John to defeat Irvington and win their 10th game of the season against 0 defeats. It will be a much tougher task today against an Eastwood Grizzlies squad that took out the Monroe County Wolfpack from Rochester last week, 31-0 in their regional quarterfinal. So, Pope John and Eastwood for the regional semifinal here of the Pop Warner Eastern region of the United States of America. And Pope John taking the field with the American flags, led by head coach Matt Emmering. And we're going to go over the rosters for Pope John in just 1 second. The Lions are the home team again today. They are wearing their home blue jerseys with gold trim and gold numbers. Pope John across the front. Blue pants, gold helmets with the blue lion on the side. Eastwood Grizzlies are wearing neon yellow jerseys with blue numbers and blue pants. Captains for today for Pope John: Quinn Clements, number 2, Victor Fiore, number 4, number 88, Jacob Post, and number 22, Ryan Johnson. So let's go over the roster for Pope John as we are about set for football here at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We start with number 1, Eric Ruiz. Number 2, Quinn Clements. Number 4, Victor Fiore. Number 5, Colin Bauman. Number 6, Lucas Rosinski. Number 7, Tyler Zabriskie. Number 8, Seamus Corcoran. Number 11, Vincent Jessamaria. 19 is Mark Hedgepeth. 21, Vincenzo Siliberti. 22, Ryan Johnson. 25, Ryder Gerval. 26, Andrew Jessamaria. 27 is Dylan Cocaziello. 28, Nathaniel Capra. 30 is Carter Johnston. Number 33, Jason Cofrancesco. 42, Thomas Walton. 52, Aiden Armiger. 55, Aiden DiOlivo. 58, Sutton Fullwood. Michael Morelli is number 72. Riley Watts is number 78. Emilio Barranco, number 79. Jacob Post is number 88. And Ryan Watts, number 95. The head coach of the Pope John Jr. Lions 13 and under team is Matt Emmering. Assistant coaches Jack Morelli, Jason Cofrancesco, Tom Staub, Gene Emmering, and Rich Jessamaria. League president is Chris Barranco. League VP Dave DiArco. The team mom is Kathy Jessamaria. The Pope John head coach is Dom Gaston. I am Mike Formisano. We are here live at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey, as the Pope John Jr. Lions get set to take on the Eastwood Grizzlies for Syracuse, New York, the regional semifinal of the 13 and under division for Pop Warner in the eastern region of the U.S. We will be back with opening kickoff here from Williams Field right after this. Welcome back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion football, 13 and under. Mike Forbesano here calling today's regional semifinal of the Pop Warner region, eastern region of the United States. Pope John has 2 more games to go in this region if they were to get past Eastwood today. The regional final is set for next Saturday at 3 p.m. in Marsh Creek, Pennsylvania. If they get through that game, they would go to the Nationals down in Florida. More details are to come later on. Meanwhile, Pope John taking on an Eastwood Grizzlies squad that won 31-0 against Monroe County out of Rochester last week. And as we went ahead and did some research on Eastwood out of Syracuse, New York, found a sad story for the Grizzlies. And the way they've come back from that is tremendous. They had a coach and a parent of the squad from last season. His name is Corey Bryant. And Corey was shot dead in the North State section of Syracuse, North State Street, last August in 2022. He was 29 years old, left behind 3 children, and was gunned down in Syracuse. And Eastwood has done a tremendous job in honoring Corey, putting a website together and putting a foundation together, and the outpouring in Syracuse, from what I researched, was tremendous. So we just wanted to go ahead and acknowledge that before we got started with the game. So in the meantime, we also want to wish a happy Veterans Day to everyone today. And I want to especially wish a happy Veterans Day to my father, Pete Forbesano Jr., who served in the Coast Guard in the United States in the late 60s. And so we acknowledge all the veterans out there today on this Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Also want to acknowledge my brother Brian's birthday today, and his son Joe. Both of them born on November 11th. Brian was 1981. Joe was much later than 1981. So we are waiting for the coin toss here between Pope John and Eastwood. We are at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey, just a stone's throw away from Manhattan. Pope John was here last Sunday. It was a little later in the afternoon. It was about 3 p.m., and they took out the Irvington Golden Knights by a score of 16-6. This game is going to start much earlier than that, so the lights will most likely not come on. Pope John 10-0 on the season. A loss today would end the year. A win would propel them into the regional final next week in Marsh Creek, Pennsylvania. We will do everything we can to be with you for that game next week. Coin goes up in the air. I think Eastwood has won the toss, so we'll find out if Pope John receives the ball first or not. The indication by the referee was that Eastwood won the toss, so I can't hear the conversation from here, obviously. So, if you didn't get a chance to last week, you can find the games from the Irvington game as well as the league championship against Linden, or any of the regular season games, on the Pope John Athletics Junior Lions Facebook page. Please go to that, sign up, and once you're accepted, you'll have access to all of the games throughout the season and anything else going forward. Plus, you also have access to all of the other Pope John games as well, as far as different sports. And we just started hockey last week, middle school hockey, as the Pope John Junior Lion middle school hockey team defeated West Milford Pequannock 6-2 at Skylands Ice World last Sunday night. And they get set for their second game of the season tomorrow at 5:50 p.m. against Jefferson Middle School. So, Jefferson and Pope John, game number 2 of the hockey season tomorrow. Please join us for that. Just awaiting final instructions. Coach is still giving last-minute direction to the players. The meeting at midfield has completed. It's now just the referees are speaking with one of the Eastwood coaches. Pope John coaching staff on the field with their Lions. Buzz and excitement throughout Pope John Middle School and even the high school and Reverend Brown Elementary this week was terrific regarding this 13 and under Pope John Junior Lion team. They are set for football, and we are too, here at Williams Field. And now the national anthem. Our national anthem. Even more meaning today with Veterans Day here at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We are set for football. The Pope John Junior Lions, 13 and under, 10 and 0 on the year, in the regional semifinal of the Pop Warner Eastern region of the United States, taking on the Eastwood Grizzlies from Syracuse, New York. Pope John in their home blue uniforms and jerseys with gold numbers and gold Pope John across the chest, blue pants, gold helmets with the blue lion on the side. They are going left to right on your screen, and they will be receiving the ball first. Eastwood in neon yellow and black and light blue, not so much a powder blue, and then black helmets with a blue logo on the side. They're going right to left. Eastwood will kick off to Pope John. Lions will get the ball first. Kickoff from the 40-yard line. Number 22 gets set to kick for Eastwood. We'll go with numbers as we do not have names on the roster. So here is the kick from Eastwood. Down the field to about the 35-yard line. It's picked up by Aiden D'Olivo. He'll charge through the middle and gets down to about the 46-yard line where Pope John will go to work. First and 10 Lions from their own 46. Just underway here, Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Mike Formisano here calling today's regional semifinal for you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Pope John in the huddle. Victor Fiore, number 4, the quarterback for the Lions, joining the huddle, and now the Lions up to the line. Spot the ball at the 47, first and 10, Pope John. Fiore in the shotgun. D'Olivo in the backfield. Now he runs up under center. Here's a handoff to D'Olivo, and he'll burst through the right side and get down to about the 47-yard line of Eastwood. That will bring up 2nd and 5 for Pope John. Fiore in the gun. Vincent Jesamaria will take the handoff. He'll go to the left. Now towards the far sideline. He gets across the 42 to about the 41. And a first down for Pope John. Now Fiore in the shotgun again. Man in motion is Thomas Walton, number 42. Here's a handoff to Andrew Jesamaria. And Jesamaria barrels his way down to about the 36-yard line. That will bring up 2nd and 5. Well, Pope John moving the ball well on the ground to start the game. And also D'Olivo and both Jesamaria boys. And they've gotten positive yardage so far. Fiore in the gun. Walton in motion. Handoff comes across to Andrew Jesamaria. He's met in the backfield and brought down at about the 38-yard line. So, loss of yardage on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. Lions up to the line. Fiore in the gun. Vincent Jesamaria in the backfield. We've got a whistle on the play. And a timeout by Eastwood. We're going to take one as well. 8:08 remaining, first quarter. No score between the Pope John Junior Lions and the Eastwood Grizzlies. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from New York City, as Pope John Junior Lions take on the Eastwood Grizzlies out of Syracuse, New York, in the regional semifinal of Pop Warner playoffs. Fiore's in the gun. It is 3rd and 6 for the Lions. The handoff goes to Aiden D'Olivo, cuts up the middle and down to the left, and a first down for Pope John. D'Olivo gets down to about the 26-yard line. And a first down for Pope John. They'll spot the ball at the 27. 1st and 10, Pope John. Fiore back in the shotgun. D'Olivo to his right. Now it sneaks under center, and we've got a flag and a false start against Pope John. That'll drive back 5. So that drives the Lions back 5. It'll be 1st and 15. From the Eastwood 32. No score, 3 minutes in. Pope John setting up. Vincent Jesamaria in the backfield with Fiore, who's in the gun. Man in motion is Walton. Here's the snap. Hand off to Vincent. Vincent cuts up the middle to the left side, and the left hash mark. Gets down to about the 28. So that'll bring up 2nd and 11. Perfect day weather-wise here. No wind, so that should help the kicking game for Seamus Corcoran if he's called upon for any long field goals. Here's a handoff to D'Olivo, and he barrels his way over the 25, gets down to about the 23. And so that'll bring up 3rd and about 8. We'll spot it at the 29, so let's make it 3rd and 7. .6:23 to go. First quarter, no score between Pope John and Eastwood.
Let's go, no mistakes. No
Fiore
mistakes.
in the gun. Andrew Jessamria to his right. Here's the snap. Fiore back to pass. Across the middle, it's tipped. Up in the air, intercepted by Eastwood. The ball hit 2 Pope John players as they tipped it up like a beach ball and finally landed in the hands of the defensive back for Eastwood. Turnover there for Pope John. Eastwood with the interception, and the Grizzlies will start at their own 23-yard line. 6:04 remaining, first quarter. Pope John with the first turnover of the game.
Let's go, guys.
And
Keep it
Eastwood
up,
will
keep it
start
up.
on offense. Now, Pope John with their defense, and they'll ask them to shut down the Grizzly drive. Eastwood won their game last week in the regional quarterfinals 31-0 over Monroe County out of Rochester. And you know Pope John defeated Irvington 16-6. Snap to the quarterback, shotgun. He drops back to pass, fires downfield. He's got a man. He makes the catch at about the 42-yard line. And that'll be a first down for Eastwood. So, coverage was tight. Not tight enough. It's number 42. Gets to the 42-yard line for Eastwood and a first down. Grizzlies up to the line. 1st and 10. Movement on the line. Get a flag on the play. False start against the Grizzlies, and they'll drop them back 5. So now Eastwood will start from their own 37. 1st and 15. Eastwood has to get to the Pope John 48 for a first down. Grizzlies to the line. Man in motion's number 19. Here's a snap to the quarterback. Pitch back to 7. Met the backfield by Michael Morelli. Morelli coming through the line and dragging down the running back. And a loss of yardage on the play. No, 2nd and long for the Grizzlies. They're at their own 32 now. Big tackle by Michael Morelli. Clock moving. We're down to 4.5 minutes in the opening quarter. The winner of this game will move on to the regional championship next Saturday at 3 p.m. in Marsh Creek, Pennsylvania, about an hour west of Philadelphia. Here's a handoff to the right side, and Morelli meets the running back in the backfield again. He's still on his feet. He's still moving and is able to bring it down to about the 38. So Morelli met him at about the 34, but a 2nd and 3rd and 4th effort got the tailback of Eastwood to the referee's going to mark it to 37 before forward progress was stopped. 3rd and long for Eastwood. They have to get to the Pope John 48 for a first down. 3:47 and counting, opening quarter. No score between Pope John and Eastwood. The ball's on the 37 at the far hash mark. One man in the backfield for the Grizzlies. Quarterback under center. Takes the snap, the pitch back to number 11. Cuts through the middle and is met at about the 40-yard line. And a host of Pope John Lions bring him down. Aiden D'Alivo, Thomas Walton, and Carter Johnston in on the tackle. So it's going to bring up 4th and 12 for Eastwood. Well, the Grizzlies to the line. Number 11 in the backfield. I believe he's going to punt it away.
No offside.
Here's a snap, low snap, and he kicks it on the ground, but it takes a Eastwood bounces and gets to about the 42-yard line of Pope John. So, very low kick. Just skimmed the ground past the 50 and 45. Gets down to about the 42. And that's where Pope John will start their second drive of the game. 2:40 to go. Opening quarter. No score between the Pope John Lions and the Eastwood Grizzlies. We are at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Mike Formisano along with you calling today's action. Pope John sets up to start their second drive of the game. Thomas Walton in motion. Fiore in the gun. Vincent Jessamaria in the backfield. He'll take the handoff and go to the left. Met in the backfield by the Eastwood defense. Pair of tacklers for the Grizzlies. And Jessamaria dropped for a loss. Ball moved back to the Pope John 38. Fiore in the gun. Vincent Jessamaria to his left. Walton in motion. Fiore back to pass. He'll pitch it to Jessamaria. Jessamaria to the near sideline and is met at the 45 and crunched there by number 11 for the Grizzlies. And we got a flag on the play, and I believe it's going to be a late hit against Eastwood. Either a late hit or unnecessary roughness. He made the tackle, but then there was action afterwards, so we'll see what the call is. It's against Eastwood. It's a 15-yard penalty, a killer for the Grizzlies. Moves the ball to the Eastwood 40. First down, Pope John. The importance of disciplined football put on evidence right there. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Walton in motion. Fiore fakes the handoff. He throws it down the field to Quinn Clements. Clements through his hands and incomplete. He was shadowed by number 22 for Eastwood, and I believe Quinn may have lost sight of the ball. He was looking for it. Came through his hands, wasn't able to close in on it. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. So good play call by Pope John, and Clements was there. But I think the defender had a little more to do with that. It wasn't just a drop. It was good coverage on the play. So 2nd and 10. Walton in motion. Here's Fiore. He'll pass it to the far sideline. And that is Carter Johnston. Johnston makes the catch. Gets down about the 31-yard line. I was looking to see there was movement by Eastwood. I wanted to see if Johnston held on to that ball, because when Eastwood was motioning, it was like the ball had come loose, but it didn't. And now Pope John has it 3rd and 1 at the Eastwood 31. Minute 14 remaining here in the first quarter. Referees blow the whistle. They're discussing something. Now the referee talking to Carter Johnston. They're going to start the clock. 3rd and 1. D'Olivo in the backfield. Fiore under center. Here's the handoff to D'Olivo. He burst his way across the 30. And a first down for Pope John. D'Olivo carries for 3 and a cloud of dust. Well, it's turf field, no dust. 1st and 10 from the Eastwood 28. 55 and a half seconds to go. Opening quarter. Pope John on the move. Looking to gain entrance into the red zone and beyond, all the way to the end zone. Fiore in the shotgun. Walton in motion. Vincent Jessamaria in the tailback. Fiore drops back to pass. Fires it downfield. It's a little wobbly for Corcoran. He makes the catch. And we have a flag on the play. I think it's going to be against number 11 for Eastwood. We'll wait and see. It could go either way. Corcoran could be called for offensive pass interference. Number 11 had a hand on him, so you could call defensive. Let's see what the referees rule. They're going to say that Corcoran with offensive pass interference. And so it's going to move Pope John back to the Eastwood 38. Negate the catch, and we'll replay first down. Bad break for the Lions. Fiore in the shotgun. First and 20. Walton in motion. Fiore gives the ball to Andrew Jesamaria. Andrew Jesamaria to the left side. Gets down to about the 31. The ball popped out, and Eastwood has recovered. The Grizzlies with a fumble recovery, second turnover of the game, and with 18.2 seconds in the opening quarter, the Grizzlies will take over. So Jesamaria with the ball knocked loose just before he hit the 30-yard line, and Eastwood able to make the fumble recovery. So along with an earlier interception, this is the second turnover of the game for Pope John. Grizzlies start at their own 30. No score, first and 10. Eastwood up to the line. Number 22 hands it off to the tailback. Up the middle, past the 35, and gets down to about the 38-yard line. Second down. 6 seconds to go. I don't think the Grizzlies are going to get another playoff. And there's the horn for the end of the first quarter. No score between the Pope John Lions and the Eastwood Grizzlies after one. We'll be back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey right after this. Welcome back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion football. Mike Forbesano here calling today's regional semifinal as the Pope John Lions and Eastwood Grizzlies are scoreless here. We start the second quarter, teams going the opposite directions. Eastwood left to right, Pope John right to left. Grizzlies 2nd and 2 as we start the second quarter. Here's a snap back to the tailback, number 11. He catches it, but met at the 32. That was Andrew Jesamaria on the tackle. A gain of 1 for Eastwood. They're going to spot the ball at the 31, so that'll make it 3rd and 1 for the Grizzlies. Number 11 sneaking past the first defender for Pope John, but did not fool Andrew Jesamaria. He made the tackle. 3rd and 1 for the Grizzlies. Just underway, second quarter. From Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Here's a snap, and we got a flag on the play. Movement on the line. False start against the Grizzlies. That'll push them back. Big penalty. And instead of 3rd and 1, it's now 3rd and 6. Referees spot the ball at the 34 of Eastwood. And the Grizzlies back to the drawing board. So Pope John has been moving the ball well against the Grizzlies, but have been snake bit by 2 turnovers. Meanwhile, the defense for the Lions, rock solid.
Let's go defense!
3rd and 6. Quarterback hands off to number 11 to the far sideline. He turns the corner, loads the ball. It's down on the turf and recovered by Pope John. The Lions with the turnover. And they'll spot the ball at the 44-yard line. Tough to see who made the fumble recovery. I thought it was Carter Johnston, but I very well could be wrong. and we have a player down for Eastwood down at the 40-yard line. So referees are spotting the ball at the 43. Pope John will take over an offense, but we have an injury timeout. We will take one as well. We'll be back to Williams Field right after this. Welcome back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey, as the Eastwood Grizzlies coaches helped the player that was injured, number 11, off the field. That's their tailback. So he was dropped at the 40 and lost the football. Pope John recovers. So now the first turnover for Pope John of this contest. They'll start the ball in plus territory at the Eastwood 43. No score here between Pope John and Eastwood. Second quarter of the regional semifinal of the Pop Warner playoffs. Eastern region of the United States. The winner of this game moves on to the final next week in Marsh Creek, Pennsylvania. If you're wondering where Marsh Creek is, it's west of Philadelphia. So Fiore in the shotgun, Vincent Jessamaria in the backfield. Walton in motion. Handoff goes to Andrew Jessamaria, but he is met in the backfield by a host of Grizzlies. Dropped for a loss at the 49-yard line. And we've got another player down for Eastwood. Tough to see a number. Another injury timeout. And we'll take a break and be right back. Welcome back to Williams Field as the injured player for Eastwood, number 24, helped to his feet and now is trotting off the field, and so that's good to see. Second and long for the Lions after Jessamaria was stopped in the backfield for a loss. Lions have to get to, I believe it's the 33-yard line. 8:30 remaining in the first half. No score between Pope John and Eastwood. Eastwood out of Syracuse, New York. Pope John, Sparta, New Jersey. Here's the snap. Fiore has fumbled. It's on the ground. Lions did recover, however. That was Vincent Jessamaria hopping on the ball as Fiore wasn't able to handle the snap. I think the snap was actually going to Jessamaria. It looked like it, at least. Fiore reached up, wasn't able to bring it in. Jessamaria was the closest one to it. So, third down, long to go for Pope John. They're at now their own 47. Fiore in the gun. Jessamaria in the backfield. Carter Johnston, the near wide out. Corcoran, the far wide out. Fiore barking on signals. Walton is the man in motion. Drops back to pass. Fires down the field. And overthrows Thomas Walton. Incomplete. Ball lands at the 28-yard line. Walton covered by 3 Eastwood Grizzlies. That's going to bring up fourth down. So now the Lions will call on Seamus Corcoran to punt it away and drive Eastwood deep into their own territory. Pope John up to the line. Late substitution into the game, Riley Watts, number 78, to the offensive line. And now he comes back out quickly as Pope John sets the offense. Corcoran takes the snap, boots it away, high end over end kick. He'll get down to about the 30, takes a Pope John bounce to about the 23, maybe 24-yard line, and it'll be down by Pope John at the 25. Quentin Clevitz downs the ball there. That's where the Grizzlies will start. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. 7:22 remaining, first half. Mike Formisano here from Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey, just across the river from New York City. The regional semifinals of Pop Warner, Pope John and Eastwood. The Grizzlies with the ball at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Eastwood comes to the line. Three men in the backfield for Eastwood. Snap back. Handoff goes to number 8. Cuts to the far sideline. Past Corcoran. Still on his feet. Gets down to about the 34-yard line. And we've got a late flag on the play. And let's wait and see what that's about. More flags going. Physicality between Pope John and Eastwood. And now a 5th flag on the play. So let's wait and see.
Settle down.
Referees convening. I could begin to tell you what happened, but it's tough to say exactly what occurred. Eastwood and Pope John came physical after the play, and flags came from everywhere. So let's see what the ruling is. Ball right now is spotted at the 34-yard line. The down marker reads 2nd down. Well, we'll see what happens and how that changes after those flags are assessed. All right, so here we go. Referee going back to the spot. Picks up his flag. Telling Eastwood to go back to the huddle. The only way the ball stays where it is if it's offsetting. All right, personal foul against the Grizzlies. Now another personal foul against Pope John. And they're offsetting. And so now the ball will stay at 34. No, they're going to move it. All right, so Eastwood took the brunt of that penalty, and they're moving the ball all the way down to the 19-yard line. So now the Grizzlies driven back to the 19. 2nd and long for Eastwood. So
Take advantage. Let's go. Stop him here.
huge break for Pope John with 7:10 remaining in the first half. Personal fouls against both Eastwood and Pope John. I believe 2 against Eastwood, 1 against Pope John. So the ball spotted at the 19, 2nd and long. Grizzlies have to get to the 35-yard line. Now the referee coming over and explaining, Coach Ebering. Well, we have a minute. Want to go ahead and say Happy Veterans Day again to everyone out there who served. Thank you for your service. My own personal thanks to my father, Pete Formisano Jr., who served in the Coast Guard in the late 60s. So thank you for your service. And thanks to all veterans out there here across America. Beautiful weather here at Williams Field. Not too cold, maybe mid-50s. Plenty of sun. It's partly cloudy. It's not going to get dark like it did last game. That started at 3 p.m., so. All right, we resume play. Second and long from the 19-yard line. Number 22 takes the snap and is met in the backfield as he hands it off. That's Michael Morelli bursting through the line again and taking down the tailback, number 8. So Morelli with the big tackle and a loss of yardage for Eastwood. They'll spot the ball at the 17. Third and a country mile for the Grizzlies. 6:48 remaining and counting. No score between Pope John and Eastwood. Grizzlies to the line. We have a flag on the play as Eastwood shifts. It's a false start. Grizzlies going to be pushed back even further. So we've talked about this throughout the season with teams that are undisciplined and not able to set up properly and continue to punish themselves with penalties. And Eastwood has definitely hurt themselves with penalties in this one.
Defense, let's go.
Third and long for the Grizzlies.
Get down.
Snap to the quarterback. He rolls to his right, looking for a receiver downfield. Fires. Completion out to number 5. Misses one tackle. Now a second. Finally met at about the 29-yard line. Finally brought down by Thomas Walton at the 25. After forward progress, I think they're going to give him the 26. So it'll be 4th and about 9. 5:50 and counting. So that's where that penalty yardage really has come into play, hurting the Grizzlies here. It's 4th and 9, and are they going to go for it? I believe they're going to go for it. From their own 26. Quarterback drops back into the gun. If they don't make this, Pope John's going to get excellent field position. Here's the snap to 22. Fires down the field. It's a bomb. Way down the field. Incomplete. Pope John takes over. 1st and 10 in Eastwood territory. The Lions will start from the Grizzly 26. I am shocked that they didn't punt there. I understand that the punter didn't get a good kickoff last time, and the kicking game's an issue. We talked about this in the Irvington game. Seamus Corcoran, such a huge weapon for Pope John, able to punt, able to kick field goals, kick off. Pope John at this level, it really hurts you if you do not have a good kicking game. $5:25 remaining. Just waiting for the offense to come onto the field for Pope John. Turnover game is 2 against and 1 for the Lions today. An interception and a fumble recovery against, and a fumble recovery for the Lions. But what could be the story of this first half is the penalties against the Grizzlies.
First down. Let's go, Lions.
First down, Lions at the Eastwood 26. 5:25 remaining, second quarter. Pope John coming up to the line. Victor Fiore trots out to the huddle. Actually, not even in a huddle. They're already up to the line. 1st and 10, Lions. Aiden D'Olivo in the backfield, standing at about the 30-yard line. Now Fiore drops back to the gun. Carter Johnston, the near wide out. Here's a snap to Fiore. Throws it down the field for Johnston. He makes the catch at the 5-yard line and is dropped at the 4. 1st and goal, Pope John.
He's got to be 6 inches taller than you.
Fiore in the gun, D'Olivo in the backfield. Pope John rushes up to try and get a playoff, but Eastwood's going to call a timeout, and we will take one as well. 1st and goal to go when we come back. Pope John and Eastwood, no score. 5:01 remaining second quarter. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion football. Mike Forbesano here calling today's regional semifinal between the Pope John Lions and the Eastwood Grizzlies from Syracuse, New York. First and goal to go from the 4. Fiore in the gun, Aiden DiLivo in the backfield. Now Fiore under center. Whistle on the play, and we've got a false start against Pope John. And so now we talked about penalties hurting Eastwood. It comes back to bite the Lions here, moving the ball back to the 9. First and goal to go from the 9-yard line after the false start penalty. Fiore under the gun, DiLivo in the backfield, standing at the 13. Here's a snap, handoff to DiLivo. He cuts up the middle to the right. Gets down to about the 5, maybe 4, so you get almost all of the penalty yardage back. They'll spot him at the 5. 4:48 to go. Second and goal. Pope John up to the line. Fiore in the gun. Vincent Jessamria moves over to the tight end spot. DiLivo in the backfield. Now Fiore under center. Takes the snap. Hand off to DiLivo. Barrels his way towards the goal line. Is he in? Touchdown, Lions! Aiden DiLivo from 5 yards out. And the Pope John Lions take a 6-0 lead. So DiLivo would not be stopped cutting up through the middle. And now Seamus Corcoran out to attempt the 2-point extra points. Here's the snap. Placed down. We got a whistle. Referee stop play. Penalty offside against Eastwood, so they'll move the ball closer to the 1.5-yard line. It was a high snap, but Fiore got it down. We'll see how it is now. Here's a snap, placed down, kicks up, blocked. Eastwood comes through the line. Number 11 blocks the kick. So bad break for Pope John, and they're going to come out of this with a 6-0 lead. And now a flag, late flag on the play. Let's see what this does. This going to be assessed on the kickoff? I think it is. So Corcoran's extra point attempt blocked by Eastwood. And the score remains 6-0. 5-yard touchdown run by Aiden DiLivo. And the Lions, with 4:26 remaining in the second quarter, have taken their first lead of the afternoon. So I believe the penalty, well, I haven't spotted it yet, so. I'm not sure exactly what the penalty was, so because the ball spotted at the 40, as it normally would be for kickoff. Pope John with a 6-0 lead. Perhaps it was against Pope John. It was declined. Either way we start. Pope John with a 6-0 lead. Corcoran getting set to kick off. And here's the boot by Corcoran. High end over end kick down to about the 38. And is recovered by Connor Johnston. An onside kick. Eastwood didn't play it. Johnston, alert, jumping on that ball. And Pope John recovers the onside kick. What a play by Coach Matt Emmering and the Pope John coaching staff. The Lions will take over. What an alert play by Connor Johnston to grab that ball before it went out of bounds. Corcoran booted it up in the air. It wasn't far downfield. Landed at the 38. And Johnston knew to grab it before it went out of bounds. Pope John, 1st and 10 from the Eastwood 35-yard line. 4:20 remaining, second quarter. The Lions back on offense. Fiore in the gun, Walton in motion. Here's the handoff to Andrew Jessamaria, avoids one tackle, now a second, a third, and is down to about the 22-yard line. First down, Pope John. Big run by Andrew Jessamaria, number 26 for the Lions. The referees will spot the ball at the 22, just outside the red zone. First and 10, Pope John. Fiore in the gun. Andrew Jessamaria in the backfield again. Walton in motion to the far sideline. Here's the snap, hand off to Andrew Jessamaria, and he, with a second effort, gets to the 17-yard line. Eastwood met him in the backfield, but Jessamaria would not be denied. Using that strength to push through the Eastwood defense. Gains about 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Lions. Ball's at the 18-yard line of Eastwood. 3:24 and counting, second quarter. The Lions with a 6-0 lead. D'Alivo from 5 yards out, but the extra point blocked by Eastwood. So it'll remain in many instances a one-score game. We got a penalty on the play, 5-yard penalty against Pope John. That'll move the ball back to 23. False start for the Lions. So we'll make it a 2nd and 11.
Let's go, O! No mistake!
Fiore in the backfield. Corcoran to his left. Here's the snap. Hand off to Corcoran. Corcoran to the far sideline. He turns the corner and is met by the ankles. Number 50 for Eastwood making the tackle and dropping him down at about the 17, maybe 18-yard line. So he gets the penalty yardage back. Ball spotted at the 18, but that'll bring up third down. Big tackle by number 50 there for Eastwood, or else Corcoran would have had a shot at the end zone. He had maybe 1-2 defenders, but they didn't have an angle on him. So 50 making the tackle, stopping Corcoran with a big gain. Fiore under center. Movement on the line. False start against Pope John. That'll drive him back 5 more. So the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. And Corcoran's yardage on that second down run negated now by a false start penalty. Vincenzo Ciliberti into the game, number 21. Had a big interception last week against Irvington in the first half of that game. He's now on the wide out in the far sideline. Fiore in the gun. Hands off to Andrew Jessamaria. Jessamaria met right at the line and dropped by, it looked like, number 24 for Eastwood. So that's going to bring a 4th down. And the ball spotted at the 21-yard line. So now what do? Do you let Corcoran attempt a field goal opportunity, or do you go for it? We've got a timeout on the field. Pope John wants to talk things over. Minute 40 remaining, 100 seconds until the half. We will be back to Williams Field right after this. Welcome back to Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey for Pope John Junior Lion football. Mike Forbisano along with you calling today's action. Thank you so much. As Pope John, 4th down now at the 21. And it looks like Corcoran's going to attempt the field goal. Fiore is in between the 27 and 28, so let's call it a 38-yard field goal attempt by Seamus Corcoran. Here's the snap, placed down, the kick is up, it's got the distance. No, it doesn't. It looked from this angle that he may have had enough to clear the crossbar, but it lands about 3 yards short and maybe to the left. So, field goal attempt, no good. and it'll be first down for Eastwood with a minute 35 remaining. Good attempt by Corcoran, just didn't have the leg there. So now the Grizzlies start at the 21-yard line. Minute 35 remaining, second quarter. Pope John's defense has been terrific so far today. Team like Eastwood putting up 31 against Monroe County, and you wondered what they were going to be able to do against this Pope John Lion defense. Well, not much so far. Here's a snap. Quarterback rolls out to the near sideline, flag down. We'll see what that's about. Carter Johnston bringing number 22 out of bounds, and that'll be for a loss of yardage, but let's see what the flag's about. Penalties, penalties, penalties all game long. And Pope John has been the beneficiary for the most part, and they're going to be again. Holding against Eastwood. That'll drive him back 10. They're going to spot the ball at the 9-yard line, so it's actually more than 10. It's 12 yards. First and 10 from the Eastwood 9. Now they move it up to the 10-yard line, so first and long. Clock running. Minute 12 to go. Second quarter. Starting to get a little chilly out here as we move towards mid-afternoon. 22 with the ball. He hands off to 11. 11 far sideline, and we got a whistle stopping play. Looking for the referee to see what the call is. False start against Eastwood. And the Grizzlies killing themselves with penalties in this game. Drives it back to the 5-yard line. Wow. Played a pretty clean and event-free game last week against Irvington, the Lions did. Not so much in this one. Massive amount of penalties. About 70% of them against the Grizzlies. For undisciplined actions, holding, late hits, false starts. Pope John's got hit with a few false starts today, but not as many as Eastwood. Number 11 with the ball now. A reverse goes up to number 5, past Johnston. He's still on his feet. And Vincent Jessamaria and a host of Lions bringing down number 5. So the reverse works for Eastwood, as it looked like they were going to be dropped there at the goal line. But number 5 cuts up the field. And I'll tell you what, even with all that yardage gained just now, he still doesn't have the first. It's going to be 2nd and 3 for Eastwood. So that was let's see, the ball was at the 27. I got to do some math now. The ball was at the 5. So now it's at the 27. So 22-yard gain for number 5. But it's still not a first down. 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter. We got a timeout in the field. We're going to stay with you. Lions lead 6-0 on a 5-yard Aiden D'Alivo touchdown run. Seamus Corcoran's attempt at the 2-point conversion blocked. So it remains, in essence, a 1-score game. Eastwood could tie it with just a touchdown. And then if they were to run it in for one extra point, they would take a 7-6 lead. So Pope John hoping that blocked extra point by Corcoran does not prove to be costly. Best way to do that is to keep Eastwood off the scoreboard. Maybe get a few more scores yourself. We'll see what happens. 20 seconds to go here, second quarter. Grizzlies at their own 27. Here's the snap, 22, hands off to 11 to the far sideline, cutting up the sideline. He's got one man to beat, still on his feet. And Pope John meets him at about the 50-yard line. So, good run by Eastwood. They're finally starting to move the ball. 6 seconds remaining. Spotted right at midfield. And the clock expires as Eastwood does not call timeout. And that's the end of the first half. Pope John takes the lead on a 5-yard touchdown run by Aiden D'Olivo, and the Lions lead at the half 6-0 over the Eastwood Grizzlies. We'll start up a new feed starting the second half. After halftime, well, the referees are now calling the players back. I think they're going to try and get off one more play. Stay with us. The referees, okay, so the clock expired. The horn went off. Pope John was heading to the sidelines, and now the referees are calling the players back. Are they saying that Eastwood got a timeout? They could have. There was still 6 seconds to go. No, I think they're going to grant Eastwood that timeout. Yep, timeout Grizzlies. So we'll get at least one more play. Grizzlies come out to the 50-yard line. So we'll see what happens. There was 6 seconds to go when the ball was spotted at the 50. And I guess the horn went off. I heard that. Saw the clock go off. But the referees must have granted Eastwood a timeout.
Let's go, defense.
Here's the snap to 22. He goes back. Hail Mary down the field. Complete to number 11. And he is stopped at about the 8-yard line by the Pope John defense. Big pass play by Eastwood, but it's just shy of the goal line. So Pope John does not get burned. And now we're going to see. We got a Pope John player down. He's back on his feet. I think that's Quinn Klebitz from this distance. Tough to tell. Well, I want to get confirmation from the referees first if this is the end of the half or if they're going to say that Eastwood call time again.
All right, guys, let's go.
Well, they have the players coming off the field for Pope John, so it is the end of the half. Clock's running at halftime now, so we're at the half at Williams Field in Elizabeth, New Jersey. The Pope John Lions survive a last-second scare by Elizabeth, and they'll head to the locker room with a 6-0 lead. We'll be back for the second half after halftime. There's 9.5 minutes remaining, so pick up a new feed on the Facebook Live page, Pope John Athletics Junior Lions, and we'll start the second half in just a few minutes. Halftime here at Williams Field. Pope John 6, Eastwood 0. We'll be back after halftime.